What's going on, ladies and mullahs? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, A Hand, the Refinery Worker. I'm your host, Shaq the Beast, and we're here doing another episode. This episode came to me, actually, by a crane operator who is no longer, he moved on. He's on to the next job, but he kind of gave me the idea. But before we go further into the video, I just want to quickly say, go ahead, smash the like button. Leave me a comment below about what ideas you may want. Please critique me, show me, tell me the way, because I do this, guys, for you. I do this for you guys, and I want it to turn out how you like it. So you guys' feedback always works out, as well as the topics you guys have given me. It works out perfect. You guys have been a big help, and I want to thank you guys. Ladies and mullahs, you are great, you're awesome, and I love you guys. So, getting back into it, uh, today's episode is going to be about faking it until you make it. Okay, the podcast can also be caught on audio, but we're trying to more focus on the video, the visual aspect of it. Faking it till you make it, okay? It is definitely a good way to get someone hurt. Now, I also want to clarify these topics. It's not a crane and rigging podcast. It's a refinery, a hand. The title is A Hand, the Refinery Worker. So it just so happens I am a rigger. So a lot of the topics can typically be geared toward crane and rigging. But you give me ideas, I'll run with it. This was given to me by crane operator. Faking it until you make it. That's one of the worst things you could do, honestly, because in some crafts you could get somebody hurt, and that is awful. I could never live with myself if I got someone hurt, if I got myself hurt. Obviously, I couldn't live with myself then, but to get someone hurt, I pride myself on having a good heart and being a genuine person and actually caring about people and their feelings and their well-being. This is a podcast to kind of open others' eyes about the ins and outs, the do's, the don'ts, the rights, the wrongs of refinery work, and obviously to glorify it as well in its beautiful glory, because it can be a good thing and it can, for others, be horrible. But I want to bring awareness to people that may not know, people wanting to get into refinery work. Faking it till you make it is not a good idea. You can get someone seriously hurt, and maybe even yourself. The topic was brought to me because Jay's, I am not sponsored by him, but Jay's jerky, he has pretty good jerky. I like his lemon lime. I think it's the lime pepper or whatever, but then the garlic pepper is pretty good. But anyway, Jay's jerky, if you haven't seen him on Instagram and Facebook, which I already did, I just finally got to meet him, actually being on a job site with him. He's a pretty cool dude. He's a crane operator. He was out there running he was either a 15-ton or an 8-ton carry deck, and he had a rigger that he was, I guess, faking it till he made it, because he funny, he was a scaffold builder prior to this, and this is what I tell people. Like, I broke out my homeboy Callie. I got him into crane and rigging. I got him out of scaffold. I told him, always be honest with your crane operator and your rigger. Don't fake it till you make it with them. You fake it on the application. You lie on the application. But you do not lie to your crane operator and your rigging partner or your GF or whomever is in charge. You tell them the truth so that they can look out for you and make sure that you don't get anyone hurt. Because sometimes pride gets in the way and guys just won't ask for help. That's what sets me apart from everyone else. I will rather look like, in your eyes, a complete fool, which I'm not, and I'd rather ask for help instead of get someone hurt, damage something, get myself hurt. So, good whiskey, by the way. He came to me and was like, man, my rigger is green as hell. And I said, you want to know something? The fucked up thing about that situation right there is when I looked at him the 2 days I saw him and didn't know anything about him, he looked the part. He walked around with his pants tucked in his Thurgoods, the bandana, the round brown, and he looked the part. Crane operators can smell green riggers a mile away, and I did an episode about that too. It's best to be honest. And what I told him, what was fucked up about is I've been rigging for 4 years. They take him and stand me next to him, and the assumption would be he would be either a better rigger or no more than what I know. And that's sad because I I clearly knew more than him. Not bashing the guy, but Jay felt like he couldn't trust him, and he told him. He said, "Cause you're telling me that you're green, but then you're telling me you have 3 years experience. You're still green at 3 years. I'm still green. We learn things, crane and rigging, refinery work, different crafts. They evolved. They evolve all the time. They evolve in many different ways. The tools, the process and procedures, the different equipment that's coming out, the new equipment that's coming out, the new tools that are coming out, and things like that. So you're always going to learn. In a sense, you're always going to be green, right? But this guy is not being honest with his crane operator. So that kind of put Jay, I guess, a bad taste in Jay's mouth. But getting back to what I was saying, you stand us two side by side and you pick him. Why? Because he's a male. And unfortunately, in this craft, because I'm a black female and I know more than the guy, and it's just not a good day to make assumptions at all. So the fact that he asked him, which he should have come forth with that information, that he was green, and then also not lied about his I guess experience, his time with his boots on the ground chasing the hook. These guys have people like Jay and crane operators that have been doing it 5, 10, 20 years. They know right away. Not so much your body language is the whole fake it till you make it part. It's as soon as you open your mouth, when you start to speak, the language, the dialect, the things that you say, that's going to give you away first. Most crane operators are going to sit back and they're going to watch you, and they're not going to offer any help because they're it's like an assessment. They're going to want to see what you can do. So they're just going to most crane operators, they're going to know right away. Fucking bug. You son of a bitch. They're going to know right away by how you move and how you, like, if they say, hey, look, they got two PSVs or two RVs coming, we're gonna fly them up to the 5th level. You should know automatically how to rig it up. That's one. And the more seasoned you are, the more you can get that PSV plumb. Because if you know anything about rigging, boiler making, the RVs and the PSVs are calibrated. They need to be upright, and if you lay them over, they need to be recalibrated. And I've seen that process done, and it costs money and it takes time. Not a crazy amount of time, but it takes time. So anybody can rig it up to where it's kind of cocked, and that's how normally riggers fly it. But when you really know what you're doing and you're not faking it until you make it, you can make that motherfucker fly. You can send it straight plumb, right, beautiful, up and down. And I do it every time. You have the tools. The tools are almost mandatory for you to fly that son of a bitch up and down. Unless it's a really heavy motherfucker, then yeah. But if you got, the kind of smaller ones, smaller PSVs, you should know how to fly that plumb. And things like that will show an operator how, where, what you know. And I say where is because like just where you're at. If you're uh kind of weak, kind of strong in your rigging, then your flagging will give you away too. Faking it is never gonna work. Leave in the comments below if you've ever had a situation where you had a rigging partner or you got on a job and you're a boilermaker and one of the riggers that was flying for you was kind of a faker until you make it, or yeah, drop that in the comments and let me know what you think, and just tell me what you, if it's ever happened to you. It's never happened to me. Well, yes it is, yes it has. uh that is for another day. But uh the whole point of this was to just kind of bring awareness to just being honest in crane and rigging in the refineries, in as a whole, in every craft, any craft. There are crafts that you can, again, I'm repeating myself, you can get someone hurt. And then you got the crafts that you can't fake it till you make it because they'll give you a test. Welders, you may pass that test to get you in there initially, but when they x-ray or uh do the PT, if you are faking it, you are not gonna make it. Scaffold, that craft is another craft you don't want to fake it till you make it, because I've almost been killed twice by someone who faked it and almost made me into the ground. Electrician, things like that, that's 9 times out of 10 gonna get yourself hurt. But there isn't a craft that, I mean, besides a fucking labor, and I don't know if that's considered a craft, but you don't want to fake nothing until you make nothing. You want to just be honest and learn. And I get it, people want the money, that's why they do it. So they fake being a journeyman to get the top pay. And we all want to get paid, but you're not going to get paid if you end up getting yourself killed. So starting from the bottom is not a bad thing. Or if you have somebody that's going to take you under their wing and kind of show you the ropes, yeah, do your thing. Do your thing, bro. But going in there blind and blindsiding someone who has to trust you, it's a shitty feeling. It's a scary feeling. And crane operators, I did look it up. I know a couple of episodes ago I didn't know if it was involuntary manslaughter. If something happens where someone expires or passes away due to a crane failure or an operator error, yes, the crane operator goes to jail for 10 years, I believe, involuntary manslaughter. And if it can be proven that the rigger is at fault, the rigger will go too. But 9 times out of 10, when the load leaves the ground, it is the crane operator's responsibility at that point, and they are liable for it. So let's not be stupid in what we do out there, ladies and mullets. But again, like, subscribe, share, comment. I love you guys. And don't forget to hit up the podcast on Spotify as well. If you guys have any ideas, please leave them in the comments below and tell me what you think about maybe me making some merch. I was thinking about maybe t-shirts or hats, especially hats. I got a ton of hats, and sometimes I wear the same ones because I kind of preserve the other ones. But I'm probably gonna just start wearing different hats in the episodes. But ladies and mullets, I do appreciate you, and I've told you that plenty of times. First and foremost, put God first. Be safe and never. That's my wife hollering at our dogs. Uh, Put God first. Be safe. Don't be a hand. Oh God! Don't be a pinky. Be a hand, and just work harder than you did yesterday. Ladies and mullets, I love you guys always and forever. Y'all stay safe.